too easy.
Americans salute liberty and celebrate with a passionate patriotism that recalls the triumphs of the 1984 Olympic Games in Los Angeles, where U.S. gymnasts were draped in gold. Will the success of the past light the way to Olympic victory in the future at the Games of the 24th Olympiad in Seoul? The answer is just over 2 years away. An exhaustive trek to the Olympics that some athletes have made before. Others are blazing the way for the first time on a journey through success and struggle, determination and doubt, driven by a dream. As America's gymnastics stars gather in Indianapolis, Indiana for the United States Gymnastics Championships. Today on NBC Sports World.
This is NBC's Sports World, and today it's brought to you by Budweiser, Beachwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By McDonald's, it's a good time for the great taste. By Armor All, it's the finishing touch every time you wash your car. And by Wagner, when it comes to painting, Wagner does a better job.
After the California gold rush of '84, Americans came to expect glory from their gymnasts. But glory has a price: hard work, high risk, and heartfelt intensity. And before you can become a champion of the Olympics, you must first become a champion of the USA. Hello, everyone. I'm Greg Lewis. Welcome to Market Square Arena in Indianapolis, Indiana, for the United States Gymnastics Championships. And working with me, two athletes who certainly know how to deliver when they must. Former Olympic gold medalist Peter Vidmar, nice to see you again.
It's great to be here, Greg.
And Mary Lou Retton. Now, Mary Lou, you won this title a few years ago. You know that you only have a few seconds to make the U.S. team when you perform in this event. How do you make sure you're going to do your best?
Well, Greg, I think for me it was the long hours and the hard work I put in before the competition, making sure I was right at my peak when I got here.
All right, Sabrina Marr was able to do that in 1985. She comes in as the defending champion, but a tough field going against her.
Oh, we have a lot of good girls in the field today. We have Jennifer Say, great optional skills, very consistent gymnast. We have Joyce Wilborn, incredible explosive power. You have to watch this girl vault and tumble. And we have a newcomer to the scene, Hope Spivey. She's got everybody talking.
All right, the women, an excellent field, but what about the men, Peter Vidmar? Now, you led the team to a gold medal in the 1984 games, then you, in fact, half the team retired. Where do we stand now?
Well, even though half the team is retired, we still have Tim Daggett and Scott Johnson, both 1984 Olympic gold medalists. They really give a lot of experience to the younger guys. We've had a lot of training camps lately, and that's really built some team camaraderie, which was really important for us in the 1984 Olympics.
All right, the champion in 1985 for the men was Brian Babcock. He is back, Peter, but what about the others he has to face?
Well, after the compulsories, Tim Daggett's like a man with a mission. He shot out like a rocket, and he really wants to win. He's got a substantial lead. Scott Johnson, unfortunately, on the other end, had a disaster on his compulsory high bar routine, and he's really got his work cut out for him if he wants to even make the national team. Let's look for some really good routines, though, from our defending champion, Brian Babcock, as well as the Hayden twins, Dan and Dennis.
And they're in second and third, respectively. After the compulsories, Tim Daggett is the leader, 56.9. It's a good lead. Another story, Scott Johnson, Olympic gold medalist, in 24th. He must finish in the top 18 to make the U.S. team. Now coming up, this is Dan Hayden on the vault. 21 years old and has had some serious injury problems, Peter.
Dan tore out his ankle about 8 months ago, so he's had problems on the vault. He does a handspring front flip, took a big hop to the side. It seems like he's still favoring that ankle. Let's watch for his knees. He tucks his knees in just a little bit too soon on the pre-flight, so he can't go any higher. Then he starts to rotate. And then watch the landing. Looks like he's favoring that ankle there.
The score for Dan Hayden, 9.3. And now Charles Lake's getting ready for his first rotation in the all-around optionals. This will be the high bar. Events going on at the same time on the floor. Each man will compete on 6 apparatus in the optional competition.
This has always been one of the real strong events for Charles. He's made mistakes because he goes so all out on these tricks. But Charles is going to try 2 reverse hecks in a row. There's one, and there's the other. Oh, that was nicely done.
Very well done. Known for his amplitude, Peter, which I think is a word we should explain once again.
Amplitude is simply going for the maximum on each skill. Charles is trying to go higher and extend farther on every single trick. And there's a triple back flip. He took a step, but that's a great dismount.
And you can see why this is the favorite apparatus for Charles Lake. If he scores high enough here, he can move up from 6th position, and he does. 9.7 for Lakes on the high bar. That'll pull him up to 5th. But at the same time, on the vault, disappointment for this man, Dennis Hayden, only a 9.15. And that could drop him out of 3rd place. Next, on the rings, it's Tim Daggett, our current leader, an Olympic gold medalist, who now says he has renewed goals in this sport.
I always need something to strive for. And so I went back into the gym, I can remember, and I said, okay, I'm going to give it one shot. I'm going to go back into the gym, and I'm going to work really hard, and I'm going to see what I feel like. And I can remember being in there for about 5.5 hours that day, and I walked out, and I was so tired because I was out of shape. I could hardly lift my bag over my shoulder. But, you know, walking to my car, I never felt better.
And rings is a great event for Tim to start out on because he can really go all out here. He does a kip to a V, which is his first strength move. And, Greg, one thing that's different from 84 is that 3 strength moves are now required. Here's his second. It's an iron cross. He's going to have to do one more strength part.
This is a new trimmer, Tim Daggett, it looks like to me.
He really has lost weight. I think this is about the lowest he's ever been in competition. Here's a press to a handstand. And here's an inverted cross, which is his final strength part, and it looks like he's going to set up for his dismount.
24 years old, just recently, days ago, graduated from UCLA.
And he's glad to get that over with.
Give him a little more time to concentrate on looking toward 88.
And here's a double layout dismount. Oh, he stuck it. What a great job.
Superb there for Daggett. This is Brian Babcock dismounting from the high bar. He was the champion of the U.S. in 1985, trying to hold on to that title as Daggett makes his charge.
The rest of Brian's routine was just fantastic, and so with the problems the Hayden twins had on vault, Brian could really move up.
The score for Tim Daggett on the rings, 9.65. He's going to hold on to first place, and Brian Babcock, the high bar, a 9.65 for him, and he will move into second. So here's the standings after the first rotation. Daggett in the lead, followed by the 85 champ, Babcock, then the Hayden twins. Welcome back to the McDonald's United States Gymnastics Championships. We're in warm-up for rotation number 3 right now, but in the second rotation, there was a costly performance on the parallel bars right here. Let's take a look back at it. Dan Hayden.
Dan had a really good routine going for him until the very end when he does a back toss here, and he goes for a walk on the bars, and every time he takes a step, that's a 1/10 of a point, so it really cost him a lot.
The final score for Hayden was 9.2. And that had a big impact on the overall standings after the second rotation. Let's look at those right now. Tim Daggett still held on to the lead. Brian Babcock in second. Dan and Dennis Hayden switched positions. Before we start the third rotation, let's look at a piece of equipment that's revolutionizing this sport.
One of the questions that we get asked the most is, how do you hold on to the still rings for the horizontal bar? Well, aside from our own grip strength, we get a lot of help from our old friend, the handguard. Well, maybe I should say our new friend, the handguard. You see, in the past, it was almost impossible for a gymnast to perform a difficult skill such as a one-arm giant on the high bar or a half and half out on the rings because they just couldn't hold on to the bar or the rings. The pressure was too great and they'd slip off. But now, gymnasts do those skills every day due to the recent evolution of the handguard. Let me show you. The old handguard was simply a very thin piece of stamped out leather. And when we put it in between our fingers, we create a small little hook. We want to grab onto the bar, and then that would give us a pretty good grip. We could do most of the tricks that were performed a few years ago. But nowadays, We're using some very, very well-treated leather, very sturdy, very thick. And we have a dowel that's placed right behind our fingers. We put our fingers in the bar, and then we get kind of the hook. And that hook gives us an incredible grip so that you can hold on for those one-arm giants or those dismounts on the rings. So you can see, these handguards have made a big difference in the level of skills being performed today. And they give a lot of much-needed confidence to a gymnast that's not in the greatest of shape.
Oh, Peter Vidmar, if I could only be in the bad shape that you're in. Dan Hayden now, ready for the high bar. The third rotation begins, and he's got to make up some ground. Bad performances in the vault and parallel bars.
And this is the place for Dan to do it. He does a crazy trick called a Kovacs. There it is. It's a double backflip over the bar. He caught the bar. That was great.
I have never seen that before.
Well, as you can see, he really needs a good grip to catch that bar, and I'm sure the new handguards make a difference for him. He's going to get ready for his dismount, which is similar to the Kovacs, but he just goes up and over the bar with a full turn. And there it is. Oh, that was a perfect landing. That was a great set. That'll move him up.
A brilliant routine. Let's look at that again.
This is his dismount. He does the same trick, but with a full twist, and he opens up just perfectly to stick the landing.
Dan Hayden scored 9.8. A stunning routine. Next, Scott Johnson. A concerned look for this 84 gold medalist. In the compulsories, a miserable high bar performance dropped him to 24th. He's fighting for his life on the team.
To make up 2.5 points to put yourself back up into the top 6 or in that top position, it's nearly impossible. It would take a miracle. So when I jumped off the high bar, I was like, boy, what am I going to do now? I'm out of it. I said, I can't even, I can't make another break, not even a minor break. I have to be perfect from now on. And the pressure just shot sky high after that.
Scott Johnson on the rings, and can he deal with that pressure, Peter Vidmar? Can he deliver now when he must?
Well, he's going to have to. Rings is just about his best event, and if there's any place he's going to move up, he's going to have to do it now. He's done his 2 strength parts so far, did a beautiful cross, now he's going to press to a handstand. Scott's generally very steady on the rings. Giant, giant. So far, so good.
Fighting off a shoulder injury.
And piked half and half out. Little hop. That was a great set for Scott, and he needed it.
And now the anxiety waiting for the scores. Only the top 18 performers here will make the U.S. team the score. 9.7. He's in 18th right now. A moment of relief. But Peter, he can't afford to make a mistake as we continue on. This is Dennis Hayden, next on the high bar. Recently dropped out of school to prepare to fulfill his Olympic dream of beating the Russians.
The Russians are in the gym 6 hours a day, 2 hours in the morning, 4 to 5 hours, in the afternoon. And that's the commitment me and Daniel are going to take. We're going to take on the Russians together.
I noticed that in warm-ups, Dennis did 2 reverse hex. And let's just see if he does it now in this routine. There's a wrong way stalter. And here's another stalter. Now he's going to set up for the 2 reverse hex. There's one. And there's the other. Good job.
Dan and Dennis Hayden competing in the same group as we move through the rotations, and being together gives them extra energy, it seems.
It really does. I think it's really nice to be able to have someone that you train with every day with you in competition. Now he's going to set up for his dismount. Beautiful in-bar stalter. That's a pretty, pretty trick.
Great upper body strength on the Haydens. This is Dennis, the dismount.
He stuck the dismount, but that was just a double tuck. That's a very, very weak dismount. I think because of the knee problems that he has, he didn't do a more difficult one.
Their brothers congratulating one another here. The score, 9.55 for Dennis Hayden. And so, after the third of 6 rotations, Tim Daggett in the lead, but only by 0.8, followed by Brian Babcock, last year's champion Scott Johnson in 18th. We'll be back here in Indianapolis and the United States Gymnastics Championships. Greg Lewis along with Peter Vidmar and Mary Lou Retton. In the 4th rotation, there was no change in the standings. Tim Daggett still out in front, followed by Brian Babcock and the Hayden twins. This is Dennis Hayden's performance in that 4th rotation. The tumbling here made possible by a new brace that's really made him able to sustain his career.
Yeah, Dennis tore his anterior cruciate ligament at last year's NCAA championships. He opted not to have surgery and to wear this brace instead. And this is what he had to say about it.
I kind of think of my brace being my secret weapon, kind of so it doesn't get in my way. I want it to be part of my body, and it's really doing the job that it's supposed to do, and I'm very happy with it.
What about this performance, though, Peter?
Well, it is a very weak mount, and both Dennis and Dan, because of their injuries, have had problems on floor exercise, and so it's difficult for them to get a good score. If they're going to beat the Russians, they're really going to have to increase their difficulty level.
The Russians, superb tumblers. Again, this was earlier. Dennis Hayden on the floor exercise.
And Dennis also did a very weak dismount. It's simply a round-off back handspring layout full twist. And Dennis received a very generous 9.5 for that routine.
And now we begin the fifth rotation with Brian Babcock. He was injured in '84, missed the games. He'll be 28 in '88, but wants to go.
In '88, I think I'll be just as young mentally as the other people I'll be competing with. And my body's going to hold out. There's not going to be any problem with that. You know, I'm trying to keep a positive outlook on that aspect, and it's getting better. I mean, my body's getting stronger. I'm doing better things now than what I did back when I perceived that I was healthy.
Well, he has had a lot of leg problems, spindly legs. He says it's bad landing gear. Brian Babcock on the vault.
Brian is a layout Tsukahara. He did it quite well. It's not the most difficult of vaults. Each vault has a maximum score, and a layout Tsuk is not the most difficult. Brian gets good height and good rotation. His legs are just a little bit apart, and he just takes a little hop in the end.
The score for Brian Babcock, 9.15. That is going to drop him into third position right now because Dennis Hayden just scored a 9.7 on the pommeled horse. This is brother Dan. He needs a 9.6, and he can move into second.
The Haydens are very good on pommel horse. They have great toe point and a lot of amplitude in their flares. He goes up to a handstand here, comes back down.
This has been a good event for the Americans.
It has been a very good event for us. In the Olympic Games, of the two medals given, Tim Daggett won one and I won the other.
Daggett's a bronze, Vidmar's a gold.
And that was a great routine for Dan. I'm always impressed with their attention to detail. They always try to do each trick perfectly.
Coach Shoichi Tomita and brother Dennis, they are a triumvirate and a power to be in this sport. The score, 9.8 for Dan Hayden, and now he's moved into second place. And our leader, Tim Daggett, on the floor exercise, only needs an 8.25.
Ooh, that was a terrible mistake there. I think Tim meant to do a double layout, but he tucked his knees in way too soon, and he over-rotated. That's not going to cost him the lead, but it certainly isn't going to give him a very good score on floor. Here's his flares. He does that very, very well. I think Tim just wants to finish this event. It's a weak event for him because of his bad ankles. He's made a lot of improvements, but he's always worried about re-injuring himself.
But Daggett very much wants this U.S. title. It's something he's never won before, and it'll give him reason to continue in the sport.
This is a new routine for Tim. I haven't seen him ever do this side pass before. It's a pike straddle side flip. He stumbled a little bit there. This is Tim's weakest routine so far of the competition. I think he'll be happy to get it over with. Here comes his dismount. It's a double back flip. Oh, and he stumbles forward. This is not going to be a good score. I just don't think it'll cost him the lead, though.
Up to now, his lowest score at 9.45.
Watched him tuck his knees in too soon. It really isn't a double layout. It's just a double tuck, practically, and he goes way out of bounds.
His score, 8.85. He still holds on to the lead. And this is Phil Cahoy getting ready for the pommel horse. He dreams of making the '88 Olympic team, but he's starting medical school in the fall. Mixing those two is going to be difficult.
This very likely might be my last year of competition if medical school seems to be really tough. So if I do well in this meet, I'll be happy to say I've achieved all I can in gymnastics. I've made an Olympic team. I've made 5 world championship teams. I've done well in national competitions. I have nothing, but good to look back at my career, and I can end it this way.
And I would love to see him be able to continue, Peter. I think he's really one of the fine men in this sport.
And this is one of the events where Phil really stands out. He's great on pommel horse. He's tall, he's long and lanky, and he really gets a good swing going. He covers all areas of the horse, does a lot of Russian work. Here's his flares. and some nice high scissors.
He's been working to improve his strength since graduating from school a year ago.
And that was a great set.
Bill Cahoy obviously pleased with it. The score, 9.85, one of the highest performances of the meet. Congratulations by his look-alike dad. In the fifth rotation, Hayden's making a charge on the pommel horse, but some trouble for our two leaders. I'm talking about Tim Daggett and Brian Babcock.
Yeah, Brian had a very weak vault, but Tim almost choked on floor. I think he was worried about his ankles, and he was just a little bit too soft on his landings and really did a lot of stumbling, but I think he'll be able to make it back for pommel horse.
Coming up, the last rotation to determine the winner of the men's all-around. Right after the Gymnastics Championships. We're starting the sixth and final rotation now. This is Scott Johnson getting ready for the high bar, the event that killed him in the compulsories. He only got a 6.8. And he needs to do well here, Peter, to stay in 18th and make the U.S. team.
Yeah, and I think there's only one trick that Scott's really worried about. It's coming up. It's a one-arm flyaway half twist. If Scott can catch this, he'll be breathing easy. Here's a one-arm giant. There's the one-arm. Oh, he's in good shape now. Now he's just got to get ready for the dismount. It's not a very difficult one for him. It's a half in, half out. And he lands it perfectly.
Enormous pressure there, and he delivers. Scott Johnson, gold medalist on the 84 team, a 9.35, and the smile says, whoop, I made it on the U.S. team again.
It's been a long day for Scott.
And this is Dan Hayden getting ready for the rings, his final performance, deep in thought.
One thing I concentrate before I go up is, one, I see myself do my mount, then I see myself stick my dismount, and then I go back to my mount, and then I begin.
And so that's what he has done on the rings. 8 feet in the air, he begins.
And rings is an excellent event for both Haydens. They have great body line, a good toe point, and they're very, very strong.
Well, I heard Dan talking about how he can do 20 handstand push-ups.
Yeah, I've been working out a little bit, but I'm not ready to challenge Dan for a contest right now. There's a good cross. A kip to an L. And now he presses up to a handstand, and he'll be setting up for his dismount.
Rings are supposed to remain as still as possible.
Nice, steady handstand again. I'm really impressed with how steady they are. They're so strong. And a beautiful double layout. That was a great routine.
Dan Hayden. The score, 9.7. Congratulations by brother Dennis, who just got a 9.6 on the rings. And they are now Dan in second, Dennis in third, as we move to our final competitor with a chance to invade the top three. This is Brian Babcock on the parallel bars. If he gets a 10, he could tie for second, potentially move into first if Tim Daggett fell apart.
I don't know if Brian's going to get a 10, but he's off to an awfully good start. He's got great body line. Beautiful Diamidov, another Diamidov. Front uprise, swing pirouette. Brian's really handling the pressure right now. A stutz, a back toss, and a double back dismount, and a perfect landing. What a great routine.
Brian Babcock, the 85 champion, his score 9.65, and right now that ties him with Dennis Hayden in third position, depending upon what this man does. And Tim Daggett refuses to crack under pressure.
I can't do that to myself. I've worked way too hard and spent too many long, hard hours on those little things to just blow it all and to forget everything. So you have to be fair to yourself, and you have to go for it. You just have to do what you can do. You practice hard, you should compete hard.
That's the theory, but can he make it happen? On the pommel horse, he's a bronze medalist in this event, but it is one that takes its toll.
Tim does a lot of work on one pommel. It's a very difficult routine. I think that most of the other competitors can't believe how long Tim's routine is. It builds to an incredible finish.
He needs a 9.2 to win the USA Championship.
I think at this point, all he'd have to do is get off, but look what he does instead. He does all these flares across the horse. He hops back to the middle. This is just unbelievable. A flare up to a handstand. What a great set.
The power, the strength, the determination of Tim Daggett. And the score, 9.9, the highest score of the men's meet. Tim Daggett dressed to the nines for his debut as USA champion. We'll be back with the final official results. You are looking at Tim Daggett, a very happy new United States men's gymnastics champion, with his co-winners in second, Dan Hayden, Dennis Hayden, and Brian Babcock tied for third. Scott Johnson did make the U.S. team. Mary Lou visited with our champion.
Tim, first of all, congratulations. You had the best meet.
Thank you very much, Mary Lou. It's the first time ever for me, so I'm really, really happy.
I bet you're excited. How do you think this is going to help your confidence now?
Oh, a real lot. You know, I've had some bad meets, and it's been because of some injuries and not enough time in the gym, but I'm ready, and I'm back in there, and I'm going to go for it.
Good luck, Tim.
Coming up now, the women's event finals and the vault, bar, beam, and floor exercise. But the women, just like the men, have also crowned an all-around champion here. And what a star she is, Mary Lou Retton. I'm talking about Jennifer Say.
Oh, she's terrific. Jennifer really had a fabulous competition here, especially when you consider Jennifer suffered a broken femur at the World Championships last year. She has made a super comeback here.
After the women's compulsories, the leader had been Do Yamashiro, but she couldn't rise to the occasion in the optionals, and Jennifer Say went to work right here on the balance beams.
She sure did. Jennifer had the pressure on her, but she works very well on the balance beam.
17 years old, only 5'1", 99 pounds, just came off her first full year on the U.S. team.
Jennifer's coming up for a back walkover, back straddle down. If you're crooked on this move, you're in trouble. That was very nice. Up into a needle scale.
She seems quite poised up there.
Oh, she looks very confident. She's coming up for a dismount, which is a round-off double full. Took a step. That was a great routine for Jennifer.
And that gave her the confidence to go on. In the floor exercise, though, some difficulties.
Jennifer has beautiful dance. If you watch the poise and the grace in her movements. Now watch her face after this tumbling pass. She's hurt her ankle. You can see that little grimace. It hurts her.
Jennifer Say's had many ankle injuries, but she must go on here. The title at stake.
When she got to her last pass, I think she was forced to cut back on the difficulty in her tumbling. See, she just does a single full, and you can see it in her face again. She was in some agony there. But she finished perfect.
The courage of Jennifer Say led her on to the title as women's all-around champion of the USA. But the pain was a heavy price. And this was Hope Spivey, who started in third after the compulsories and managed to move up into second place. Oh, is she spunky?
Yes, she sure is. Watch this tumbling pass. Run off back handspring, full in, back out. Beautiful, and it was solid as a rock.
15 years old, 4'8", 81 pounds, and loves to dance.
She's small but mighty. She has good, smooth dance in between her tumbling passes, which is very important in the floor exercise. She's doing front, round-off flip-flop, double full. Good middle pass for Hope.
Before this competition, she called this the most important meet of her career. She wants to dazzle the judges.
And she sure did so. She's moving very well. She looks like she's having a good time out there, doesn't she?
Well, you were pretty good at playing to the crowd, I must say.
Well, it really helped me in ways. I had trouble with dance, though, myself. I really had to work hard on the dance part of it. I could tumble pretty well, but dancing was one of my weaknesses.
I didn't think you had any weaknesses. This, Hope Spivey, the women's all-around, her floor exercise, final tumbling run coming up, and she scored here the highest floor exercise of the meet.
She ended with a double back somersault in the tuck position. A hard one to end with, I must say.
And with this impressive routine, helping to bring back the momentum to Eastern Gymnastics. Last year, the West won the title. This year, it's Jennifer Say and her parquet teammate Hope Spivey won 2. And this is the young lady who became number 3. Brilliant in moving up from 12th after the compulsories. Also an Easterner, this is Joyce Wilburn.
Watch the power and the strength in this tumbling pass she's about to do. It's by far the most difficult in this competition. Here she goes. She's running. Punch front, round off flip-flop, full in, back out. Super. She's happy about that.
Something to marvel at. As explosive as 4th of July fireworks. Joyce Wilburn.
Boy, she is dynamic in everything she does.
And Mary Lou, it doesn't look like she has to work that hard at it.
No, if you watch, when she's running into her tumbling passes, she doesn't run that fast. It's amazing. Here she's getting ready for her second.
A stroll.
Yeah, double full. Duck it.
And And she's saving the toughest part for the last. A tumbling run that very few women in the world can do, and one of them I know was an old rival of yours, Katerina Szabo.
Yes, you're right. Joyce is going to attempt to finish with a full in back out. And you can tell in her dance that she is trying to hold back, saving her energy. It's a little choppy, and she's not putting as much into it as she should.
If she could bring the dance up to the tumbling, she'd be something else.
Oh, she would. And she will, I'm sure. Here she comes. Now watch this pass. I get excited every time I see it. She's running. Right off flip-flop. Full in back out. Look at how high. She finished the trick. She did step out of bounds, but what an ending.
The amazing Joyce Wilburn, third place in the women's all-around. Something else.
Oh, I'm telling you, incredible.
And our champion, Jennifer Say, happy and sad about having the title on ice. The final standings. The new USA champion, Jennifer Say. Hope Spivey, her teammate, is second, and Joyce Wilburn in third. All right, have you come down from the victory yet? How are you feeling about that all-around championship?
I definitely haven't come down yet. I'm very excited. It's just, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
You were marvelous, but you did pay a price for it. I understand that your ankles are pretty sore. Can you tell me about that?
Well, my left ankle has been bothering me. Before I came into this competition, it's sprained pretty badly, and it hurt a lot yesterday, but I'm glad it's over. And in the finals today, I'm not going to be able to do everything because my ankle's bothering me, but I will do bars.
All right, good luck to you in the bars.
Thank you very much.
Women's event finals when we come back. But right now, let's go to England for a Wimbledon report. Welcome back to Indianapolis for more of the McDonald's United States Gymnastics Championships. Greg Lewis along with Mary Lou Retton and Peter Vidmar. We are now getting ready for the women's vault in the event finals. This is Joyce Wilburn.
Again, watch the power and the speed in Joyce's run. Blocks, lay out Sukahara with a full twist. Perfect vault for her. She took a little hop on the landing. She's happy about that vault. Let's watch it again. Good punch off the horse. Look how high she gets. Straight body, legs together, landing. You see that little hop.
The score, 9.8 for a two-vault average of 9.625 and a total of 19.425. This is Alyssa Solomon. Remember, the final score in event finals also includes the average of the compulsories and optionals. This young woman, she has high ambitions.
After I saw Nadia and Mary Lou, you know, it was possible for an American, you know, to do well in the Olympics and to, you know, be there. You know, I just, you know, every country goes, but, you know, I want to make the Olympic team in 1988, and then I want to go off to college and become a doctor.
Hey, Mary Lou, I love these underachievers, but first some surgery here on the vault. She needs a 9.7 to take the lead.
Doing a Sukahara in a layout position. Great landing for Alyssa.
Alyssa Solomon, a 9.4, the average, 9.325, a total 18.775. She's in second place now. Our next competitor, Tracy Kalor, who had dreadful problems in the all-around, Mary Lou.
Yes, she sure did, but I think that she's got her mind where it should be right now. She's got a powerful vault.
Needs a 9.7 to take the lead.
Sukahara full in the top position. What a vault for Tracy. Let's watch it again. Good block off the horse. Legs together, knees together. Landing was perfect.
Good enough for the 1983 U.S. Junior Champion to score a total of 19.025 and move into second place. And now it's the time for Angie Dinkins.
Angie's one of our stronger vaulters.
She's going to have to be perfect here and then some. Needs more than a 10 to take the lead.
Yeah. Oh, good vault. She did a layout Sukahara. Took a big hop at the ending. Let's watch it again. Angie gets good punch off of the horse, straight body all the way around, but her landing needs practice.
It pulls her average to 9.3, a total of 18.9, good enough for third place. Right now, Peter Vidmar is with our winner.
Joyce, congratulations. How does it feel to be a national champion?
It feels very good. I'm very pleased with myself.
You have so much power. I have to ask you, how do you make it look so easy?
Well, I just try hard and I train hard also.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, that concludes the vault, and you said at the top of the show that Joyce Wilburn was going to be explosive. Woo! I think she sure is.
Did I tell you so? She has such strength and such power. I really feel that she's going to be a strong contender for a medal in 1988 on the vault.
Well, it's official. Our winner, Joyce Wilburn. Tracy Calor in second, Angie Dinkins third. We'll be back here in Indianapolis right after this. Back in Indianapolis for more of the women's event finals of this U.S. Championships. The uneven parallel bars next. A routine of the athlete's choosing, sort of.
An optional bar routine really isn't that optional. The gymnast is required to do certain movements throughout her bar routine. She must have a minimum of 10 moves and no more than 4 of them in a row on the same bar. There are other requirements too, and I've asked Melissa Marlowe to help me show you what they are. Melissa fulfills the first one with her mount. She passes underneath of the low bar and goes right into the second one with going above the high bar. She passes through a handstand, which is another requirement, and a release move. Now she's going to do a change of direction, which is also needed. Passes through another handstand. Now Melissa does a second release move, which isn't required, but it does catch the judge's eyes and helps in the overall scoring of the routine. Now the only requirement in the dismount is that it must be in keeping with the difficulty of the rest of the routine.
This is Beth Hansen. We'll see if she can meet those requirements with some flair. She's from Wisconsin, 15 years old, 4'9", 85-pounder.
Good bar worker. She swings the bars real well. There's her change of direction. Handstand. Front giant swing. You don't see too many of those. Right into a very high Jaeger flip.
Lots of excitement has roused the crowd.
Oh, yeah. The crowd loves bars. She's getting ready for her dismount. Giant swing. Double flyaway. Perfect landing for Beth. Now watch how she stuck this landing. Her double flyaway was so high above the bar, she was able to kick out of it and land it perfect.
Her total score, 18.925. That makes her the woman to beat. And next, Jennifer Say, who 10 months ago broke her femur doing a reverse hecht on bars. Her comeback hasn't been easy physically or mentally.
Well, the first time, I was terrified. I mean, I was just so scared. And after I did it for the first time and I made it, I was crying just from, you know, the pressure. I was so relieved. But now I'm not afraid of them anymore at all. They've gotten a lot better.
Amazing courage, and now she's competing with a badly sprained ankle.
Yes, she is. Jennifer had to scratch from some of the event finals because of her ankle. This reverse hack comes early in her routine. Here she is setting up for it. Beautiful reverse hack for Jennifer Say. Bet you she's relieved that's over with.
This is her only competition in the event final, so she has to make the best of it.
And she sure is. She's moving very smoothly. Setting up for her dismount. Giant swing. And a good dismount for Jennifer.
She needs a 9.75 to take the lead.
And here we have one more look at Jennifer's reverse hack. She has good swing coming down through the bottom. Lets go the bar really high above it and catches it perfectly.
Her score of 9.6, though, not enough to move her into the lead. And this is Marie Roethlisberger at 20, the senior woman on the team. The shoulders look good on the outside, but she's had problems on the inside.
For the last couple of months, I've had a pulled muscle on my shoulder, so I haven't been able to train for this meet like I would have liked to. So I just do what I can do, and a lot of times I couldn't work out. I couldn't do routines at all, and I just have to take it easy and just do them in my head.
Fourth coming into this event finals, that lack of training did hurt her in the all-around.
Yes, she did have a fall on the all-around competition. The pressure's on her today.
She needs a 9.625 to take the lead.
Stalled her half turn. Giant swing. She took out a reverse hex. She's being a little conservative today.
This is one of her best events, though.
Yes, it is. Marie moves so good on bars. Watch this move. Giant full pirouette right back up to the handstand. Going for a dismount, double pike flyaway. Took a little hop. Great, Marie. Now let me show you what your hands need to do in doing the giant full pirouette. Move one, the other. It's so quick, you have to do it in your mind before you even do it physically.
The score there for Marie Roethlisberger, 9.8, and it puts her into the lead. Now the challenger will be Hope Spivey. And for Hope, a 9.75 will give her the lead.
This is a good event for Hope. Giant swing. Delchev. She kind of went a little crooked on that. That's going to cost her.
Noted for her strength.
She's setting up for her dismount. Giant swing. Now watch this dismount. Full in, back out. And hard dismount off of the bars. Watch Hope sneeze on this jam through. She bends them a little. Straight legs and pointed toes will come with experience, though. Now she's setting up for her dismount, which is a full in, back out, which means she has a full twist in the first dummy and just a plain back tuck in the second. And she performs it great.
The score, 9.55, good enough for second. So in the women's uneven parallel bars, a veteran has taken the title, but Mary Lou, not by much.
Marie's got a lot of newcomers coming right up behind her. We have Hope Spivey and we have Beth Hansen. A lot of potential. Marie better watch out.
And so here are our champions in the women's uneven parallel bars. Coming up, a look at the stars of the future. Junior women champions have also been crowned here in Indianapolis. Mary Lou, they're new names to me, but they're old buddies for you.
They sure are. We have Christy Phillips, who was #1 after the competition. I was not surprised at all. Phoebe Mills, she's a newcomer. She's going to give Christy a run for her money in the years to come. And #3 gymnast was Robin Carter.
And she sure can swing on the bars.
13 years old and a featherweight 73 pounds.
What's really impressive about the junior girls is the difficulty they have in the routines. Like, for example, the dismount was well above the bar.
Another with great difficulty is Phoebe Mills, and we see her here on the floor exercise.
Phoebe has a great floor music. The kind that the crowd can clap to and get you involved in. Watch this tumbling pass. Round up, flip-flop, double fight. Good landing.
And she sparkles. She's 13, 4'6", and just 70 pounds.
The impressive thing about Phoebe, Greg, is that her dance is so mature for how young she is.
Third in the 1985 Junior Championship. She was first here after the compulsories, and she finished second overall.
Getting ready for her last tumbling pass. Round off flip-flop, double full.
And that is impressive.
You're going to hear the name Phoebe Mills in the future.
Phoebe Mills and Coach Bella Caroli.
He sure is excited about that one.
He knows how much talent he's got right there. And all of America knows how much talent they've got right here. Christy Phillips, the 1985 Junior Champion. Good in everything, but what are her favorite events?
Probably floor and beam.
Why?
Because on floor, I can smile, have fun, and then on beam, I have a lot of flexibility, which the crowd really notices. And, you know, when you get the crowd behind you, they get you going. They get you psyched up.
I think she gets the crowd psyched up.
She sure does. Christy has a very original beam routine. Watch this mount. Starts with the press handstand. Shows the handstand. Now watch this. That hurts my back to even watch it.
Amazing, like a paperclip.
Yes. Christy moves well on beam. She's coming up with one of her biggest skills now. A round off, lay out, step out. Solid. She's smiling. Look at that.
Strength and extraordinary flexibility, the trademarks of Christy Phillips.
She just did her 2 leaps, which is required on the balance beam.
That beam only 4 inches wide, 4 feet in the air. You need that special balance.
You sure do, and Christy works it like it's on the floor. Now watch this move. People are already calling it the Christy Phillips. It's an inverted planche. If it's not named after her now, it will soon be. Into a straddle split, showing that flexibility once more. She's winding down now. Getting ready for a side flip. That's a hard move on the beam. She had a little bobble, but that's about the only flaw she's had. Now Christy's getting ready for a new dismount of hers, a round off double back. And she sticks it!
That was a good one.
Holy smokes. That's good. Hey, solid double.
Coach Bella Caroli with an accent that's partly Romanian, mostly excitement. And after the 9.8 there for Christy Phillips, we now see her performance on the floor exercise.
This is a new floor routine for Christy. You can see the different expressions on her face. She really relates to the crowd well.
She communicates another way, too. I understand she has a T-shirt that says, "Move over, Mary Lou."
She does. Oh, Christy didn't tell me about that one. Looks like she's having fun out there.
Well, she's got the entire audience mesmerized. Started in acrobatics when she was age 4. She saw Nadia Comaneci win her gold medal, and that was all there was to it.
Tumbling pass. Ronald flip-flop double pike. Solid. She's showing off out there.
Well, that playful tantrum will be the only one she throws today, because she has marched all the way to the all-around championship for the juniors. Christy Phillips. Greetings by Coach Caroli, who believes the future is bright.
It's not impossible now to build a new generation who gonna be competitive, gonna be up, gonna take again aggressively, positively, and with a great desire and the dedication I'm going to, and the willingness to make it. It's not impossible. It's gonna be hard work. We have 2 more years to go, 2 tough years. Now it's all up to these kids, mental and physical strength, the hard, dedicated work, how that thing's gonna come up.
Christy, you're the 1986 Junior National Champion. How important was this meet to you?
Well, it was important because it marks your placings as to what you are going to accomplish in the next year or 2. And it also, like, gets you an international name because you'll get to go to more international meets if you place high in this meet.
Well, I noticed you had a very heavy brace on your wrist. Did it bother you today?
Yes, my wrist has been broken since about last December, and it was really bugging me these last few days.
Well, you handled it like a champion. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Names to remember: Phillips, Mills, and Carter. And notice that the top 2 have scores that surpassed the scores in the all-around of the senior women. We'll be back right after this. This is Greg Lewis, back at the U.S. Gymnastics Championships. Here's Mary Lou with some of the requirements the women face during competition.
There's minimum requirement in an optional balance beam routine as well. First of all, the gymnast must cover from this end of the beam to that end of the beam. Melissa starts off with one of the requirements, her leap series. The routine must last between 70 and 120 seconds and must cover the entire length of the beam. See, your toes are right at the edge. Now she's doing her acrobatic series, a flip-flop layout. Melissa is a fine balance beam worker. She had a few falls in the all-around, which cost her. Right there's her flexibility move. That's a hard one, too. She's getting ready for her 360 turn. Perfect.
And now that we know what they have to do, let's see how Joyce Wilburn does it. Tied for 3rd coming in.
Flip-flop, flip-flop layout.
Does her power help her on the beam?
It didn't help me. I was always a little conservative on beam because you have so much power and you really have to hold back.
Wilburn has already won the women's event finals vault.
Front tuck. Joyce is getting ready for her dismount. She can use the power on the dismount. Round off. Double back. Duck it.
She makes those landings look so easy. Joyce Wilburn.
Let's watch this dismount again. Watch how high she goes. Round off. 1, 2, land.
The score, 9.4, and so she leads now with a total of 18.575. This is last year's champion, Sabrina Marr, and she needs a 9.45. She's had some troubles. Can she put it behind her?
You have to put it behind you. You can't let yourself dwell on it because it usually messes up the next event or something, but I try to forget it.
Now Sabrina Marr tries to block out what was a very poor performance in the all-around, only 11th place after being the champion last year. Back problems have really hurt her, Mary Lou.
Injuries can really hold you back. Sabrina's getting ready for a gainer back layout. A little bobble, but she recovers well. Sabrina really wants to do well on this beam. She's getting ready for her dismount. This is new for Sabrina. See if she makes it. Round off, double back. Oh, and she sits back. What a disappointment.
Well, that will deny her the opportunity to win this event. Sabrina Marr, a year she's going to have to forget and overcome. We'll be back here in Indianapolis right after this. Welcome back to Indianapolis. This is Sabrina Marr with her coach. She scored an 8.8 on the beam, only good enough for 17.95, and it has been a very tough meet for her. And now Alyssa Solomon is on the beam. Fine young performer.
She sure is.
We should mention quickly that last year's beam champion, Kelly Garrison, out this year with an injury.
Alyssa's coming up with a punch front. Took a little step, but a good one, straight on. This is a back walkover.
Her first year in senior competition.
Jump full turn. It's different.
She needs a 9.4 to take the lead away from Joyce Wilburn.
She's getting ready for her dismount. Round off, double full.
She looks pleased, and now she goes over to Coach Donna Strauss.
2 days in a row. This arm just wanders.
Her score, 9.35, total 18.575, and she's tied with Joyce Wilburn. And now Angie Dinkins gets ready, and she is very fond of the beam. She needs a 9.375. And she'll have a victory here.
Angie started off with a press handstand into a planche, showing flexibility right there in the straddle split. She looks very determined. Two switch leaps. That's a hard, difficult pass.
She was third in the vault.
Solid back tuck. I think Angie's going to get ready for a hard move now. A round off layout. See if she makes it. Round off. Solid!
She looks like she may be on her way to victory here.
Oh, she sure does. You can see it in her face. I think she wants that medal bad.
Again, I have to say, it is only 4 inches wide, that balance beam. It's like walking down a stripe on a highway, something I can't do.
Takes years of practice. Ready for her dismount, round off, double back. What a routine for Angie Dinkins. Now watch this back tuck. It is absolutely solid. No movement whatsoever. Let's take one more look at the dismount and watch the height on it.
The score, 9.65, her total 18.85. And for Angie Dinkins, her first national title. In the beam, a tie for second place, but no question at all about who finished first. Angie Dinkins, something else.
Angie Dinkins, that was the best beam routine I've ever seen Angie do. You know, the pressure was on, she knew what she had to do, and she rose to the occasion.
Coming up, the final women's event, the floor exercise. Welcome back to Indianapolis. More of the women's event finals. This is Tracy Calore on the floor exercise.
And she really shines on floor. She's getting ready for her second tumbling pass. Double pike. Little low landing, but she pulled it out.
She has picked herself up after her disappointing performance in the all-around. She was, frankly, in tears, but now it doesn't show.
She's in the corner, breathing for her third pass. She's running hard for a double back somersault. Still a little low, but she looks happy with the ending.
Tracy Calore on with the show, a pretty good finish, but some difficulties in that first tumbling run we didn't see before.
Tracy's doing a triple full now. She's a little off, and she's fighting not to go out of bounds, but there her foot went.
The score, 9.35, her total 18.5, and that's what this young lady hopes Spivey will have to beat as she gets ready for what is her favorite event.
Floor, it's kind of quick. I like quick things. I don't like beam. I dread beam. Beam. It's like, please let me stay on the beam. But floor, I've always liked to tumble.
She needs a 9.25, and I remember one gymnast saying to me, I love the floor because it's the only event you can't fall off.
That's right. Hope had a magnificent floor exercise in the all-around competition, too.
She has a very good chance of taking the title here.
Yes, she does, and she's coming for her first pass. Let's see how she does. Full and back out. Good one. It's always nice to show a smile when you're out there, to let the people know and the judges know that you're having a good time.
The smile's so natural.
A front through to a double full. Nice pass.
The music, of course, from Cats, and I think it's fair to say that Hope Spivey is on the prowl.
Hope's a very good dancer. A lot of good dancers do come from the Parkette School. They concentrate a lot on the dance and ballet part of it. On the floor, she's resting up for her last pass.
"40 feet from a potential victory here.
Here she goes. And a double back. Oh, right to a sit down. Too bad for Hope Spivey.
One mistake in the waning seconds. She only needed a 9.25. And now to her coach.
You gotta be thinking every single minute. Just threw away a national floor title.
Donna Strauss says she threw away a national title with this, Mary Lou.
Let's watch this. She's doing her double back. She just had too much rotation. Watch, she pulls it under a little too much. Right to her seat.
And she did only a 9.1. She's in second right now.
Don't relax ever till you're finished. I wasn't even sweating it. It was so good.
You can't relax when Yolanda Mavity is next. We'll be back. Welcome back to the women's event finals of the U.S. Gymnastics Championships. This is Yolanda Mavity on the floor with a very good chance to win the title here. Mary Lou, she only needs a 9.35.
Yolanda is very capable of that. First tumbling pass. Round off flip-flop. A high full-in back somersault. Stepped out of bounds. That'll cost her a 10.
She does move with grace, though, and it makes it hard for me to believe that her coach, Dick Mulvihill, said when she came into the gym, she had 2 left feet.
I don't believe that about Yolanda. I might add, this is a new routine for Yolanda. She's doing very well. You can see the maturity in Yolanda's dance compared to some of the other gymnasts. It's a change of music tone there. Let's see if Yolanda ends with a double back somersault. It looks like it in a run. Double pike! A little over landing, but she pulled it through.
Yolanda Mavity, and a look of confidence.
Let's watch her first pass again. A high, full-in back somersault. Just looks like to me she ran a little too far.
And a 9.4 gives her the women's title ahead of Tracy Calore and Hope Spivey.
Yolanda, congratulations. What does it do to your confidence to finish as a national champion, being the veteran that you are?
It feels really neat. I really had a good floor change. I stepped out of bounds, but felt good otherwise. I was really happy.
What are your plans for the future?
Just to keep working and hopefully get my place up in all-around higher.
All right, well, good luck. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Yolanda Mavity. The men also delighted this crowd with their event finals. Let's salute the champions in the 6 men's events. Robert Sundstrom in the floor exercise. Phil Cahoy on the pommel horse. Dan Hayden on the ring. Scott Wilbanks, the winner in the vault. Tim Daggett, champion of the parallel bars. And David Moriel and Dan Hayden, the stars of the horizontal bar. Well, as my colleagues know, the joy of achievement can last a lifetime, but the opportunities to achieve, they may only come along once or twice. This U.S. Championships, of course, was one of those. And Peter, how did the men deliver?
They delivered fine, especially Tim Daggett. He really seized his opportunity right from the start by jumping to the lead at the very beginning, and he held on to win the gold medal. I think that overall, our men are very tough. They're strong. I think they need to increase their difficulty just a little bit, and then they'll be right on top for 1988.
Well, that's good news. Mary Lou, what'd you think about the women?
Well, we have a strong new national champion, Jennifer Say, and a lot of talented newcomers on the USA team. But the thing that makes me feel good about our future is the depth that we have in our junior girls.
I think those juniors are great, too. For Mary Lou Retton and Peter Vidmar, I'm Greg Lewis. Goodbye from Indianapolis, Indiana. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Weissman. Sports World produced by Carla Engelman. Directed by J.D. Hansen. U.S. Gymnastics Championships produced by Ginny Sipe. Technical Director, Sal Nagita. Be sure to join us next Sunday when Sports World travels to Italy for the World Cycling Championships. You'll see an international field of cyclists, including 5-time Tour de France winner Bernard Hinault and 1983 world champion Greg LeMond of the U.S., competing in the grueling road race. Plus, from Japan, we once again bring you a sport steeped in the traditions of the Orient. It's Grand Tournament Sumo Wrestling. That's all next Sunday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. in L.A., right here on NBC Sports World.